gang, Spacetime Badass here. Today we're going to be talking about psychedelics versus the lucid dreaming experience. If you're familiar with me, you'll know that these two experiences are very close to my heart, and I don't find it controversial to say that some of the most significant experiences of my life were either spent in a lucid dream or during a psychedelic trip. But before we get into the comparisons, I'd like to make you aware that the only psychedelics I've tried are LSA and psilocybin. LSA is a precursor to LSD, and psilocybin is more commonly known as magic mushrooms. Now, the experiences with LSA that I've had in my life could be counted on one hand. It is most likely in the range of 5, and while I'm not completely sure the amount of times that I've tried magic mushrooms, I know that it is most definitely in double digits. Since with LSA I have the least experience, that will be the easiest to go first. Now, the feeling with LSA for me was very much that I was in the zone. I felt at the top of my game, like I could do anything, and incredibly capable. This feeling to me is somewhat comparable to the lucid dream state. Now, this isn't a feeling that you're going to get in every lucid dream. Indeed, there will be some lucid dreams that are less vivid and you have less control over, but in those very vivid dreams where you have a lot of control, I feel that the feeling of LSA is very comparable. Just that feeling of power and that anything is possible, I think, is very relatable to the lucid dream experience. As for the visual distortions that you might get with LSA, the only comparable thing I can find to lucid dreaming is the color vividity. Now, in lucid dreams, colors can be very vivid, very dull, or everything in between. It really just depends on the tone of the dream that you have. But I have had several very beautiful, bright lucid dreams that are very comparable to the brightness of color that LSA gives. As for the enhanced pattern recognition and other visual distortions that LSA can give, I really don't feel that there's a comparison to be made between that and lucid dreaming. I've never felt that pattern recognition is extremely high in lucid dreams, as well as the sharpness and detail of the things you see in the LSA experience. While lucid dreams can be very vivid, if there's any distortion at all with lucid dreams, it tends to usually be a blurriness for me, so I don't find it too comparable there. Now we'll move on to psilocybin or magic mushrooms. The main thing that really sticks out to me with my experience with magic mushrooms in lucid dreams is really this sense of confusion. Now, with my experiences with psilocybin, there were a lot of experiences, especially my earlier trips, that had this sense of confusion. There are things that are just completely baffling on a trip, other things that are incredibly interesting for no reason, and I think that really compares with the lucid dream state, or really the dream state in general, to be more specific. We'll put it this way: if you're in a dream and you're at layer 0 and you're just starting to question whether or not you're dreaming, I would say that the psychedelic experience with magic mushrooms is more akin to that feeling. Something is clearly going on, you can't do something that you can ordinarily do, you are confused, and it's kind of this tipping point with lucid dreams where it's either going to be lucid or not lucid, and it's kind of that feeling drawn out for about 5 or 6 hours for me with psilocybin. Namely, with the visual distortions, there are a lot of things to be compared between psilocybin and lucid dreams, in my opinion. Of course, some lucid dreams are going to feel more stable than others. I think that there is a general common thread that runs through these two experiences to kind of connect them. That is the feeling of instability where things could kind of give way at any moment. For instance, I remember on one of my earlier trips, I was walking downstairs to get something to drink, and this should have been maybe a 2-minute trip, but it ended up taking me about 20 minutes because I stopped, and for about 10 to 15 minutes I just stared at the wall because I noticed it was changing colors, not the wall itself, the light that was being projected onto it from the ceiling. It seemed like the light in the area was kind of changing color ever so slightly back and forth, and the wall itself seemed to be breathing. So it's very much this flowing, inconsistent, moving world around you that I think that feeling can be compared to a lucid dream or dreams in general. If you're in a lucid dream, you're in a world composed entirely of mind, and that instability can make itself a little bit more apparent, and I feel that psilocybin gives you that feeling as well. If nothing else, it can be described as something's a little bit off here. And the last comparison I want to make between these two is the potential for very insightful experiences. On psilocybin, for me, anytime I take it, whether it's good or bad, I am always going to be given some sort of insight that I can use in my life. So for magic mushrooms, if I take a dose, I will certainly get some sort of insight. With a lucid dream, I think that you can get the same experience of insight that can solve waking life problems and overall just give you this feeling of awe and wonder. However, to get this experience in a lucid dream, you either have to be incredibly lucky or you have to know how to look for and get that experience out of it. So you can get that experience from lucid dreams pretty easily with some coaxing if you know what you're doing, whereas with the psilocybin experience, you're going to get something either either way. Whether you ask for it or not, it is just going to be thrust upon you. So yeah, you can definitely get this experience with lucid dreams, but it just takes a little bit more know-how. And those are really the only comparisons that I can make with my experiences with these psychedelics. Same thing goes for psilocybin with other visual distortions like pattern recognition specifically. Again, I don't feel that I have a heightened sense of pattern recognition in my lucid dreams. But on psilocybin, you very much get that feeling that you are in a dream in some respect because the world seems very unstable. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope this has been interesting for you. Don't forget that you can check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at SpacetimeBadass. As well, I'd like to make you guys aware that I have some lucid dreaming coaching tiers available in my Patreon. So if you become a $10 tier supporter, you can get unlimited email support from me for lucid dreaming for as long as you're a patron. And if you become a supporter of $20, you get the unlimited text support in the $10 tier. As well, you will get 1 hour Skype sessions with me once monthly to talk lucid dreaming. So if you're interested in that, or if you're interested in seeing any of the other tiers I have available, please check me out on Patreon, patreon.com/spacetimebadass. Otherwise, I think that just about covers it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to share your experience, please do so in the comments section down below. And if you'd like to help the channel out, please share this video on your social media. But until next time, take it easy.